Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mooney and I am just your newer YouTuber. At this point I don't know if I'll be considered new if I'm doing more videos as we go. But yeah, welcome and get your coziness, get settled, and we'll get started on the video. Today we have Juniper. He is a good boy and he's in training, so we're gonna go ahead and start doing that today. We're gonna focus on a lot of the jumping arena and sorting some stuff out here, but yeah, and as of now we're gonna talk about all the gated horses, all the horses we got baited into, and the crusty dusty horses. Is it nostalgia or is it an obsession? I'd have to beg to differ that it probably is both. I think we have some of the community that is just obsessed with the older generation and it pertains to it being nostalgic. I think some of the other generation, it's more so like, I want to have the firstly made horses. Don't blame them. I think it would be cool to have a collection. However, myself, I don't really like the crusty dusties, but I do have a few friends that will and do love them very dearly. So I definitely understand, although I will never find myself owning them. I think I have only currently that I'm holding myself accountable for about 3 or 4 crusties, and they were the Winfeld. The special like rainbow confetti, those ones. So yeah, I have those. I don't necessarily have any more than that. So yeah, I think some of the older generation horses are nice, again, for collection purpose, but I think beyond that I would not see myself owning stuff like that. Kudos to the people that do and that uphold them. I think it's to each their own, everyone's prerogative, right? So now we're gonna get into like gated horses. So like, for instance, this horse is somewhat gated. It has a special gait. I think personally SSO shouldn't have done it specific to each horse, only because I feel like all horses could have a potential to be gated if trained in that, degree or parameter. I think this would also be able to do like stuff like if Star Stable didn't limit it to one breed, they would be able to do like lead changes and stuff like that. I feel like they're gonna make that only like breed specific, which would suck. Just because I think all breeds can lead change. I don't think it's one specific horse. So sorry if I keep pausing. It's just because I'm having the hiccups and it is pretty bad today. But yeah, I don't think it's one specific breed that should have one specific thing. There are certain breeds that do have a special move, and that's different. We're not talking about that. We're talking about gated horses. So yeah, I think they shouldn't limit it to one horse. I think they should give all horses the potential to have a specific gait or obtain that gait. And then not only that, I think with all of the horses that have come out, there were a few horses where they did do advertising for, and I feel like we really got baited, and they weren't really all that they brought them, like they weren't all that they brought them out or made them to be. Like, I feel like especially this happened with the Belgian warm blood. We were shown that they could have had a bucking mechanism or special move, stuff like that, and that was kind of a disappointment because I was really looking forward to that being something that they would have had. Oops. And unfortunately it's just not it. Instead they gave it to the Hanoverians, which I made this point earlier in one of my other videos, that the Hanoverian breed wasn't really meant to have like a very feisty behavior. They were very calm and gentle. So I think they should have stuck with the Belgian warm blood having the buck, or the kicking mechanism. I know a lot of people were kind of biased though too on this part, because it was supposed to be for the Mustangs that came out after, which fair. Okay, fair. We can definitely argue that it was supposed to be something saved for the Mustangs, but the Mustangs buck or kick is definitely different. So yes, I finally made it to milestone 20. Okay, I'm trying to get everything on here. I only have like till 6, so I'm working my butt off. But yeah, I definitely think they could have done a little bit better, per se, with those things. I think they could have really just made a broad spectrum of all breeds having the ability to obtain those specific gaits and stuff. And I think certain breeds were definitely a baited thing. Andalusians, the old version being, I know they're going to come out with the new ones, but those also I feel like were a little baited. I don't really know. Some people say Pasifino. I don't really know. I feel like they could have had more potential had they worked on them. I do definitely agree with the Frisians. I think they really didn't still take their time. Like, they're good, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to slam on what they already created, but they could have still taken more time for that. I know some people were, in the community, there's certain groups, right, that were getting impatient over it, but here's the thing. You can't rush art. And I think the Frisians should have been something that would have been a breed that they come out with in 2026. A fixed breed. Because the one that they gave us now, again, not horrible, but if you were to compare the artistry of the Shire horse and the wispy of the hair on the feet and stuff to the Frisian that we have now, they still could do better. They still could do better. Think about the mountain horses too. Think about the tail, all of that. They could have done better. And I don't think this Frisian was a reprieve. It was still kind of like, meh. Like, there could have been more to it. I think they really should have waited and really, really, really done their research. And I know that maybe there was a different design team for it. I can't confirm that. But from what I know, the last time when the last Frisians came out, before they redid them again, the ones that look like Scooby-Doo. The ones that look like Scooby-Doo. Yeah, those ones. I love those for the specific fluidity and the, like, when the idle animation, when it's like trotting in place. It was beautiful. It was perfect. The one that they have now is kind of weird. I think it's just because the way that the body looks with the current Frisian. Now, I'm not saying there was anything wrong with the proportions in this Frisian. I do think there still slightly needs to be an adjustment, but that's where I say that they should have really taken their time. I don't think them and feel that them releasing them early benefited anybody. I think they should have really held off, really done their research, have a design team that, came out with these horses with the tail, the fluidity and everything. I think they should have consulted them or brought them in on it. Maybe it is the same team, I don't know. But I really have a hard time believing that because of the way the hair and the mane, the tails and all that look. It's just very boxy, very meh. Like, there's no like secluded strands or anything. I don't know. Maybe that's my own judgment, but like, I love this. Like, even like standing here, like, I love, like, there's just little pieces that are separated. And there's like a fluidity. The tail moves when the horse moves. I just wanted more out of the Frisians. And I feel even right now I'm still not really impressed. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that will disagree and a lot of people that will agree. But again, this is just an opinion. It's just something I'm sharing. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Do you guys think that the Frisians were made better? I mean, obviously better this time, but do you think they should have waited? Should they have, like, still really honed in on their designs and been more precise about it? Or do you think that you know, it was time for release, and they are what they are, and they're good as what they are. Let me know in the comments, because I'm not sure myself. I think I'm kind of on the fence. I think they should have waited, but at the same time, the community was really pushing for that to be brought to like the horse world in Star Stable. But yeah, I think there could have been more work on that. Pertaining to the other breeds that they came out with, I think it was so cool. They've done such a good job. They've almost nailed every single breed after that whole thing. So they did the Hanoverians, they did the Nordicers, they did the, you know, saddlebred horse. They really hit the nail on the head with those breeds. The only breed I think that they also should maybe reconsider, just based on size, is the Mustang. I think the Mustangs are a little bit more small than they should be. And I could be wrong, because maybe I just see horses in a different light, or see them, you know, in a bigger stance. And maybe Mustangs are a little bit shorter and more stout, but I don't really know. I would have to say, from like, I've seen like BLM, you know, I've seen some of those horses and watched a bunch of videos about that, and I've kind of formed my own opinion about it. I do think they should be taller, maybe about the same size as the mountain horse. The legs are just not, for me, long enough. They should be a little bit more muscular in the chest, maybe. But yeah, I think that they should have kind of done a little bit more with all of that. I think that they kind of not maybe waited on it, but really worked a little more on it, because I feel like they're a little small. I feel like they're more pony-like, which I don't like that. I think the Mustangs were more than that. So I kind of get torn up about it, and it's hard for me to ride the Mustangs now, because I can't stop thinking about that. Doesn't mean I don't, but it's like, it used to be my favorite, but it's kind of really dropped really far down in my list. So it's unfortunate, but my list does keep growing, because they keep coming out with more horses, and I'm super excited to see, you know, the revamp of the Andalusian soon. So I think they should do the Lusitanos next. I think they really need an upgrade. Like, really need an upgrade. I'm hoping that's the next one. And then I hope they bring the other ones back, like the Oldenburg, all of that. I really want to see those horses in this game. I truly, like, hope that they take into consideration all the old gens that they had, that they started the game with. Let's not even, like, talk about starter horse, right? We all know that the starter horse should be updated. I understand there are some people who just do not agree with it, because it's a nostalgic thing. They haven't changed since some people have started, and people have been in Star Stable for a very long time and have been used to seeing that starter horse. But think about it this way: you update all these other horses and all these other breeds, and you can't even match your starter horse to it. It kind of becomes one of those things where it's like, you're not really, you're saying you want to go in the future and you want to move forward, but you haven't, and this is the one thing you haven't changed. Some people will say it's a business strategy. Not changing the starter horse would, you know, maybe push more for people to get Star Rider, because there's nicer horses. You know what I mean? And they can see those nicer horses because of everybody else being in the areas where Star Riders are. And I understand that's like a promotional thing, but I honestly feel like they really should update the starter horse. I personally, because I don't like Crusty Dusties, I didn't like my starter horse even with my old account. I hate to say it, but it really does look like Scooby-Doo. Like, a lot of these horses really remind me of that, and it's because I'm a little bit older. So I just think they look derpy. They look unrealistic, and I really want a more realism to this game. They've really done a good job of updating horse breeds and making them look more realistic, with still some cartoon features, obviously, with some gaming aspects to it, which I really enjoy. But yeah, I think I would love my starter horse more and I would ride it more if it was updated. So I really hope if they do update them, they don't botch them, because they ruined the Frisians, and I don't want them to ruin I don't want them to take, I want them to take the aspects of like the breed coats and stuff for the starter horse and really keep the similarities and keep that. But please, for the love of all that's holy, don't botch the starter horse. Don't do what you did with the Frisians to the starter horses. I'm like, that's my biggest fear. So I do want them updated. I would really love to see the potential that they would have. There was a artist that had done her own version of what they might look like if they updated them. I still think they look a little derpy even then, but if they took that and ran with it, I think they would potentially have a really good horse for starters. And yeah, I think pretty much that's my opinion on the matter. You know, we can get into other things too, like how they are getting rid of. I personally understand why they don't have any more starter horses. I said starter horses. Wow. Why they don't have any older generation horses. They still have some, not all of them. They pulled them from the game permanently because the system just doesn't support it. It kind of sucks because I do think regardless if you bought them or not, and whether you have them in your stable or not in the future, that they're not going to be able to support that at all if they keep continuing to update the game and use different machines to run the game. I think it will become more of a, what is the word I'm looking for? A restriction. I think that some people will see some severe lag. And they said they wouldn't be able to fix any of the, like, technical issues with them. So I understand that. So it kind of sucks. And at what point, like, if the, let's say, remember, I don't know if everybody remembers, but a few years back, the old, derpy, newer kind of Frisians, I just don't know the difference between gens. It's hard to keep up with them. At least for me. I'm not saying for anybody else, but for me, whew, out the window. But the more derpier, like, they were updated, but they weren't. Those Frisians, like, remember they had, like, that glitch where the head would, like, be weird and it would be, like, all over the screen. I could see that those things potentially might ruin the nostalgia for a lot of people because they won't be working on those tech issues for the older generational horses. So I think later on it could become an issue or a problem, and it's just going to ruin it for everybody, unfortunately. Hopefully, I hope I eat my words. I really do. I hope that's not a problem, but I can just see that might be something to be of a concern in the future. But yeah, I feel that is something that they really need to, you know, in order to move forward, they have to start cycling out horses. But I do wish they would I know they cycled them out if they even created them. One thing I wanted to touch on, we're going to go over here. One thing I wanted to touch on is the Morgans. Okay guys, this is going to be a hear me out thing. I know it's not a hear me out video, but I'm telling you, listen, like, pause, listen, just, like, use your ears, right? It's listening ears, right? They look, to me, personally, like Seth the Sloth. And I will never get over that, okay? I will never be able to recover from that. I feel they look like Seth the Sloth. I think that they didn't quite nail the Morgan-esque look. I think that they made them more pony-like, and they were not necessarily a pony. I think they weren't more than 15 hands, but, I'm sorry, they weren't more than 15 hands, but they weren't small. That's for sure. I feel like they could have done so much better with them. The whole tail, the way the tail sticks out, like the mountain horse does too, but it's not as bad. Like, even when I'm running, like, it's still not bad. It looks nice. The way the Morgans have it, no, it almost feels like, and I hate saying this, but it almost feels like the team that worked on the Frisians worked on the Morgans, and it hurts my heart because I don't want to have to like make that assumption, but I can only think of it that way. Also, the tail looks like a pine cone. I don't really like the way they made the tail. It looks like a pine cone. This tail is flowy, it's wavy, it sits nice. It doesn't when it's the Morgans. I hate to do that. I hate to tear it apart, but it's my least favorite breed. Like, Frisians at the bottom, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but Frisians are at the bottom. I still think they really need to improve on that before they can even really have a Frisian in the game. That's kind of how I feel. But the Morgans are really right there with it. It's almost side by side. The only reason they're a little bit better is because the mane looks great and the coat colors are nice. That's about it. That's about it. Now Frisians, oop, I almost messed that up. Frisians don't have a lot of coat colors. They came out with like a lot of different tints to the coat colors and stuff, which was nice. It's nice to see that, like a warm tone and a cool tone. But I really wanted to see them. I wanted to see them bring out the sport horses with the regular normal coat colors. I wish they would have stayed with the what they originally had, like bring it back to life. I wish they would have stayed with that. I think a lot of the community was really upset about the fact that they didn't keep the other coat colors that were already, you know, they were already in the game. It just, I kind of like feel on that level, like I agree. My goodness. I kind of agree with everybody on that, and yeah. I mean, this video wasn't meant to be like tear them down, but we're kind of just giving our opinions. But yeah, I kind of wish they would have just taken more time. I'd rather them take more time and really like do the work. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I'm just kind of all over the place with this. But like, what's your opinions of the Morgans too? Let me know, because they look like Seth the Sloth. I'm sorry. I will never unsee it. I will never unsee it. It is permanently engraved in my brain. But that doesn't mean that they aren't cute. I'm never saying that any of these horses aren't cute in their own way. Like, the Frisian is still cute in its own way. I just wish they would have waited a little bit longer. Ooh, wow. Yeah, see, this is the generation I'm talking about that looks kind of derpy. This one. But yeah, it kind of looks like Scooby-Doo. I do think that they could have just taken more time. That's all. Yeah, I mean, and then we get into like all the other horses too that they've came out with. You know what I wish they also would update? And because they've already done like a draft breed, they've actually done several, the Ardennes, the Shire. I really, really feel like the Clydesdales and the Irish Cob deserve an update. They're really cute how they are now because they're kind of cartoony, but and I don't actually have anything that I really hate about them or anything. They're just not my preference of horse to keep in my stable. But if they updated them, I definitely would, because I have a lot of Shire. I actually really enjoy the Shire a lot. It's cute. It really does remind me of Clydesdales, which is why my whole point is kind of like they should update the Clydesdales. I know it's going to be one of those things kind of like the Frisian coat colors, where there's not really an array because there's different types. There's different like markings on Clydesdales, and if you understand and know what Budweiser's rules are, they only look for a specific look in a Clydesdale before keeping the horse. They do rehome them and they're sent to really good homes, but I do think that they should do that next. Hopefully next year. You know, hopefully it's on the itinerary. I know they typically like choose 2 breeds that are already in game, right? They typically, or maybe 1. Maybe I'm just off. I don't know. How many horses did they come out with a year? Was it 6? I don't remember, but I do know that they generally try and pick breeds that they already have too, and also bring in new breeds. Let's talk about the mules, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna share something with you guys. I do like the mules. I didn't like them when they came out. I was like, ugh, who's gonna, like, I was like, who's gonna want a mule? Like, you know, no offense, it's more donkey-like, and I was like, you know, I don't know if I'll even like them. I kind of wish that, you know, they would have picked something else for this year, but that was me being really much of a stickler, because you have to keep in mind, guys, I only do dressage stuff most of the time. I shouldn't say only, but I mostly do dressage. I rarely will do any jumping and stuff unless it's for training. I'm getting more into that world and realm, and also with Western, so it's changing. And I think that's also what had changed my world a little bit, is buying one of the mules. I have 3. I will have 4 with the Camp Western one. Just because I really like the one that looks like hot cocoa. I think it would be cute in like winter clothing. But yeah, that's guys. I don't think I'm meant to own them, and I'll tell you in a second once I finish this. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So when I first bought them, I had just one in my stable. I only stuck to one in the stable, and I wasn't training it or anything. It was just in there. It was on my list of horses to train, and I forgot when they get past level 7, they have like a higher screen and stuff. They have different screens, and I was in my stable just kind of sorting out my clothes and stuff and moving things around, and I just kind of minding my own business. It was really quiet in the game. Okay, it was really quiet. You know, there's the occasional, like, you know, call that it does where it like kind of hiccups, but then it was really quiet, and I was like, oh, whatever, doing whatever. And all of a sudden it just screams, and it scared the life out of me. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh my gosh. There's no way. There's no way. I literally got scared, guys. It was crazy. And then I had all 3 in there at once, and I just couldn't do it. I literally had to move one in the paddock and just rotate them, and now they're all there because I just can't. I can't deal with the noise. But I do think they're really cute. I think they did a really good job. Props to Star Stable on the mules. They really did deliver. I'm not too familiar with a lot of mules and stuff, but I do know the coats can be very diverse and very special. And I really think that they did execute that pretty well. They even brought a little more fun to it, which I really do like to see Star Stable take a little bit of a creative initiative. So it's nice to see that. I also really just enjoyed their little animations and how cute they are. They're little bunny. Okay, I say bunny ears. They're not bunny ears, right? They're donkey ears, but so cute, so stinking cute. They really do remind me of bunny ears. So I just think they're cute. They kind of won me over with them, so I'm totally fine saying that I really like the mules now. I think the only like breed of horse that I don't have in my stable, I don't have Arabians like I said in my first video. I will only really plan on getting horses I will plan on riding. I might maybe in the future get 2 of them. There's only really 2 coat colors I really like. It's the flea bitten and the one of the paint ones. I think it's the one with the blue eyes. But yeah, I don't really think I'll have many more in that generation, or that we're kind of more back there. Another breed I don't have in my stable is a Pasifino. I don't even have any of the magic horses. I literally never rode them. Never rode them. And I think the only reason why I even had the magic ones was just kind of like to have them because they were magical. They were unicorns. And even then, I still didn't ride them. So I don't think that's really fair. Like, I love seeing other people ride them. I'm not a jealous type. I love seeing people ride and have fun. And just seeing the cute outfits that people come up with, too, is kind of cool. So I'm totally fine not having them. I do like some of the coat colors on the Pasifino. But I'm okay with staying out of it, you know. I think the only other breed, I'm trying to really think hard of like ones that I don't have any thoroughbreds anymore either, and I don't think I'll have any in the future. I really want them to update those. I think they kind of did a disservice to them. they look really weird and wonky, and I'm sure some people will agree. They're still cute in their own aspect. They kind of run like a bunny, which is kind of cute. But that's really about it. I don't really like them aside from anything else. They did do a really unique gray coat color, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think, unless they update them in the future, I'm not really going to revisit that breed and own any of them. I'm trying to think of other ones that I don't have. I mean, I really don't have any of the old gents. At least anymore, I just don't. I don't have any, like, I have ponies, but, like, okay, I think they're the cutest thing ever, and I know some people don't agree with me, but the Welsh pony is so cute. The Dartmouth pony is pretty cute, too, but I really like the Welsh more, and maybe it's because the Welsh is kind of more agile, but it's so cute. I think it's the cutest little pony ever. Great job on that. I really think they delivered on that one. The Dartmoor pony was also really cute. I kind of wish the mane was a little more floofy, kind of like how they had the Icelandic horse. But also that's another thing. The Icelandic horses are so cute. Now I am a little salty. Because they had a coat color. Now if you're looking at my screen and stuff, you know how this coat color, it's the Palomino, the dark Palomino? You know how they have like the non-dappled version of this? The Icelandic horse was supposed to have something like that, okay? I had it. It was my old gen. It was on my other account. And it had blue eyes. And they didn't come out with that coat color. I'm still pretty salty about it because as someone who doesn't typically like crusty, dusty horses, it was one of my most favorite. And again, I will never buy it again, but it was one of my most favorites. I don't think they have them in the old generation shop, or whatever that is. Horse auction, horse sale, whatever. But yeah, I was kind of like, when they came out with them, I was really bitter because they came out with a Grillo that kind of was similar, but it wasn't the dark Palomino kind of color. And we can even go look, because I don't remember all the coat colors. They had a lot for the Icelandic horse. I can take a trailer there. But yeah, they really did them dirty. I feel like I was gypped. I say that a lot for that one. Because it was one of my favorite. It had blue eyes, the blue versus the brown. It was just so beautiful. It was just, I wish they would have done one like that. And I think they have something similar, but it's a warm tone. Not quite a dark Palomino. Where am I going, guys? Where am I going? Oh, we're going here. See what I mean? Brain is all over the place. But yeah, I just really wish they would have, I wish they would stick to, don't get me wrong, I really want them to stick to the breeding book too, in certain cases. But you also have to deliver on the coat colors that you already have in game. I think that would be more like almost a duh feature. Like, duh, you should stick with what you have. Like, you should revamp what you have. It's kind of my same opinion when we talked about the arenas. You should use what you already have and then go by the standard breeding book and all of that. I think they could have still done that either way. They really could have. And they typically did. Okay. Alright. So technically, none of them, but it's fine. We'll just look at this one. Because this isn't a dark Palomino from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't think that's a dark Palomino. I don't think so. I think that's a bay. But they could have easily, white maned it, blue eyed it, and done deal. Okay? This is literally could have been it. But they didn't do that. And then when they did the Christmas horse, I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were going to, deliver. And then they didn't. And don't get me wrong, I love the Christmas Icelandic horse, and that's something I'm going to rebuy this year. But I'm just so disappointed, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm ranting. And I'm just, I'm sure you understand, when you get disappointed by something Star Stable does. It's just, you're just kind of like, oh, here we go. But I really, really, really wanted them to bring that coat color and bring that specific dark palomino back. They didn't. Maybe they're saving it for later. Maybe I'm just cuckoo crazy, whatever. But I hope so. I hope so. I'll be really, really distraught if they don't, because it was part of one of their main coat colors. So yeah, I'm kind of upset, and I'm hoping that they bring it back or something. Maybe they're saving it in their pocket for later. I can only hope. I can only hope. I'm really curious about what the Christmas horses will be this year, because they brought a lot of new breeds in. I'm thinking they might go with the mules, to be honest. I know they did bring new coat colors in for the Camp Western, right? I know they brought in new coat colors, but I really think that they would be cute to do like a Santa theme with the mules. Hear me out on that. I really think that they should do like a Santa theme. They did do like, so the Arabians, they did like the, oh my gosh, the ornaments type style on those horses. Then we had what? The deer, and then we had the reindeer. We had way before that. We like right after the next one, we had the pony with the snow on it, the unicorn, the snow unicorn. Oh, I can't remember all the other ones. But I really think they really need to do more Christmas horses, to be honest, because if you think about Halloween I feel like has more Halloween magic horses than Christmas does. I know it's really hard to believe, but I think that's true. They don't work as hard for Christmas, I feel like. Oh, and they have the Shire. The Shire that they came out with, and the gingerbread horse. The Lipizzaner. I know, I always say them wrong. Just bear with me, guys. Brain is struggling. But I really think that they should really, like, bring something to it. This is so cute. And they also brought this white one over here, which I don't think the white one was an original coat color, was it? I don't think so, but it's still really cute. It's giving Mary Legs vibe, and I like it. It's cute. Though I think Mary Legs was a Welsh pony. Funny enough. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like just a rant video, and kind of just like my opinion on certain horses and horse breeds. I'm sure I'm going to have more. Excuse me, I know I just kind of caught my breath there. But I'm sure I'm going to have more. And you guys are going to be driven crazy by that. That's okay. You know, we're here for a good time, and we're here for, you know, banter and talk and sharing one another's opinions and how you feel about certain things. And it's okay to disagree. I think that's quite fair, quite healthy. So I don't mind. But yeah, this is pretty much it for my video. Not too long of a video either. The last one, probably like 30 minutes too. But let me know, you know, your opinions on things. Again, you know, kind of recapping what your thoughts are on the Frisians. Should they have really just waited it out and done another year of working on it? You know, let me know what you guys think about the Morgans. Or how you feel about, you know, Crusty Dusties yourself. Do you think that it's an obsession or it's more nostalgia based? You know, and also let me know what you think, if you agree with me or if you disagree with me on the Icelandic coat that they missed out on. And maybe give me a little tidbit what you think is going to be, what you think might possibly be the next couple breeds for the next seasonal magic horses. Let me know down in the comments, but I appreciate you guys, you know, watching and staying to the end, and I really am grateful for everybody who watches my videos, because the more people that watch, the more that I can create, and I really would love to do this, make more videos for you guys. And oh yeah, by the way, this outfit is one of the new ones that did come out. They did have bundles. I didn't know they did have bundles. It was hard to figure that out because I didn't post it right away. But I did get it. I love them. The Baroness outfit is one of my favorites. I think they did so good. It looks good with presets. It doesn't quite take away the color. It's pretty. I do wish the saddle pads would match. They don't have any matching saddle pads yet. But fear not. They do have ones that are slightly off. So I'll still slightly use those and then just wait patiently. But yeah, in my next video, I'm going to talk about Camp Western and some of the things that were posted from CC Creations. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm really, really excited to start making more videos. So I just have so much to talk about and there's so little time. But thank you guys so much and I'll see you in the next one.